Oh my gosh, hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be doing a wrap-up for the Fall into Manga Love Readathon? No. It's not fall anymore, Dylan. I'm tired. We're going to do a wrap-up for the Manga Love Readathon, which was hosted by Shay from Shaegeeksout, who is one of my favorite people. If you haven't subscribed to her yet, you totally should, because she's so genuine and honest and awesome and very, very consistent with her videos, unlike me. So you should go watch her. She's amazing. I love her. And she basically hosted this giveaway? She basically hosted this readathon. I cannot make videos today. But this readathon was basically to recommend things to your friends and read recommended manga that people have given you for recommendations. So a lot of these were recommended, but some were not, so I kind of just read what I was feeling at the moment, and I'm going to talk about them. So let's get into this. Now, for this readathon, I mostly exclusively read on my Kindle. I read so many digital manga for this readathon. Well, so many for me. I don't really read a lot of manga at once, but I read a few. So the first one I read is called Asahi Senpai's Favorite, and this is by Iroha Machino. Can my Kindle wake the frick up, please? Thank you. Good God. This is what I read. Jesus. So I read this one. This is a shoujo manga that my friend Danny at the Danny Post. I can never get your name right, girl. I can never, ever, ever in a million years. Danny from the Panda Post. I should just turn this camera off now, girl. Please, for the love of God. Oh my God. But this was basically a really, really cute shoujo read about this girl who is... It's very typical shoujo, very typical romance. She's very shy and reserved. She actually has a lot of anxiety, which I like how they explored that in this manga. She doesn't really have very many friends. She doesn't want to talk to people, but she gets drawn to this boy who is the most beautiful boy in all of the school, and the most popular, of course, and he loves her. And he is very, very teasing and very, very playful, and he wants her as a girlfriend. You can tell, even though it's very slow burn and their relationship doesn't really go very far very quickly. I'm enjoying it, though. I read the first 3 volumes of this on my Kindle, and I really, really liked it. It's fun, it's cute, there's nothing really too much to say about it, but I did enjoy it, and I am glad that Danny at the Panda Post recommended it to me. So thank you, Danny, even though I don't know what your name is. Thank you. Okay, I know how to use my Kindle. Oh my gosh. So the next manga that I read for the readathon was Crocodile Baron, and this was a recommendation from Aisha from over at Mama Loves Manga. And this was written by Takuya Okada, and it is a foodie manga about this crocodile who is a baron. Because, you know, I know how to read the title, girl! And he is a very, very wise, sage-like crocodile who basically goes throughout Japan with his friend, this little bunny, and they go to different shops and different food places and experience all these different cultures and food, and talk about life. It's a slice of life manga. It's a slice of life foodie manga. And it's really, really fun to read. Really, really easy to read as well. And it's also very, very funny. I really, really liked this a lot. This was one of my favorite that I read for this readathon. So if you have a Kindle or a Nook or anything, an e-reader, your phone, get this manga. It is so, so good. It is so good, and I'm so glad that Aisha recommended it to me, so thank you, Aisha. Thank you so, so, so much. It was so cute and so fun, and I just enjoyed myself. That's all I really have to say. You should read it. It's very, very fun. Also, the artwork in this manga, if I can get to it, is also very, very good. Yeah, it's just a very, very nice clean manga. I really like the art style a lot. I like the The dialogue is very funny and quick and easy to read. I really, really enjoyed this a lot. Let's see, the next manga that I read for this readathon was Peach Mermaid. This is the, what is their podcast called? The Thirsty Thursdays, like, live stream book of the month. And this was written by Haru Akebono. And this is a, like, comedy romance title about a boy who finds a mermaid. Kind of in the vein of, like, The Little Mermaid, because she gets turned into, she goes from a mermaid to a human, and it's about her trying to find love. And what's interesting about it is that in order for her to stay a mermaid, she has to have sex with someone. And she can't do that because anytime she gets horny, she turns into a mermaid. And, you know, you can't do a mermaid because there's no parts. So it's a fun, like, cute little story. I didn't love this one. It wasn't my absolute favorite. I still haven't picked up Volume 2. Well, I have it, but I haven't, like, read Volume 2 yet. Or Volume 3. I need to do that. It's just not, like, high on my priority list. But I did enjoy it. It was cute. It was fine. It's definitely probably my least favorite book that I read this readathon, but if you're interested in a silly, fun fantasy shoujo manga, I would read it. It's not really fantasy, but you know what I mean? Like, there's some fantastical elements, like a monster kind of element to it. You might like it. And I think that's all. Oh wait, I did read one more on the Kindle because I couldn't stop myself. I had to read Waiting for Spring, Volume 1. This was recommended to me by Shae from Shaegeeksout. I had to read something from Shae because I just had to. And I'm not really sure why I did. I honestly saw that it was on sale during the Kodansha sale, and I was like, okay, I'll buy Volume 1. I don't know why. I'll just do it. And I'm really, really glad I did. This was a very, very cute, fun little romance title. It's essentially about a girl who is very reserved, and she ends up meeting this basketball team. And the basketball team is made up of 4 different boys. This is a harem manga, harem romance shoujo manga. And they're all they have this really interesting personalities. And it's about them becoming friends and playing basketball together. And it's a really, really cute story. I really, really love this one. This was probably my favorite read for the readathon. Possibly, oh, there were some good ones though, girl. There were some good ones. But I really liked it. I thought it was cute. The boys were super cute. Oh my gosh, yes. And the basketball parts were actually really good too. I really want to collect the rest of the series. I'm just not sure if I want to do it digitally or physically. I still haven't decided yet, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. But I do want to read more. I think it's really sweet. If you haven't read Waiting for Spring yet, I highly recommend it. It is a really adorable shoujo. Okay, and now let's get into the physical manga that I read for this readathon. The first one I read was a brand new release from Square Enix manga, actually. This is one of their first books, and that is A Man and His Cat, and this is written by Yumi Sakurai, and it is translated by Taylor Engel. And this is a cat manga for everybody. Everyone should read this. This might have actually been my favorite for the readathon. I read so many good books for this readathon, honestly, but this one is super sweet. It is essentially about this little cat, this little sweet baby cat, who is living in a pet store or something of that nature. He's living on his own, and he's trying to get a new family, but no one wants to adopt him because they think he's ugly, which, girl, do you see this cat? Do you see him? How is that ugly? Girl, like, for real, seriously? But I do understand because he is also an older cat, and it's very hard for older cats to get adopted because everyone wants kittens, and I understand that. I would want a kitten because I'd want to live with them longer. That's really sad. But I feel so bad for the older cats in, like, pet stores. And yeah, humane societies. Like, I want to adopt them all. Let me just adopt them all, because they're so sweet. And it's basically, yeah, like I said, a life manga with our main character here, who I don't think has a name. I don't think they say his name. I can't remember. Because the cat is also, like, the narrator, and he calls him Daddy and Papa and that sort of thing. And it's all about him just enjoying his life with his new owner, his new, like, family member. And it's so sweet. I adored this so much. And I can't wait for volume 2 because this is awesomely wholesome. I didn't even know I was going to say awesomely. That just popped out of my mouth. So there you go. Awesomely wholesome. Let's just keep moving on. It is so good. You should read it, please. Next, I decided to read a manga that I have been kind of putting off for a long time because I didn't want this story to end, which is strange. But I read volume 2 of Our Dreams at Dusk. This is written by Yuki Kamitani, and it is also translated by Jocelyn Allen, who is one of my absolute favorite translators. She honestly translates everything that I read, basically. I love her. So anyway, this is volume 2 of Our Dreams at Dusk. It follows our main character here on the cover, Shuji, who is a very, very interesting character. They like to dress up as a girl, and I'm not really sure how I want to gender them, and honestly, because they're not sure about their gender, but it is an exploration of gender. And I found their character very, very interesting, but also irritating, because they are very... I'm not trying to shame anyone at all, ever, because I don't understand their mind. They're the only people that understand themselves. But he or she, they are very mean. And there are some racial slurs that are said in this manga. And what's really interesting about this, that part didn't really bother me that much, honestly, because I feel like that is the character. And there are so many people out there in the world. There are so many people in the LGBTQ community who will use those words and are comfortable using those words. And that is totally fine. That is their right to do so, as long as they're not hurting anybody. But Shuji ends up hurting someone with his words, and I was not happy about it at all. However, there are various different kinds of people in the world. I couldn't stop thinking about this manga. Literally, I have not stopped thinking about it since I read it last weekend. And I keep thinking about how we're all so different, and we all have various opinions about what it means to be in the community. And I think I like this more than a lot of people did. I really, really love this manga. I love it so much. Again, cannot say it enough, but the artwork in this series is beautiful. And I love when this mangaka draws kind of like a surreal scene like this one with Shuji in the glass of water, where he is basically alluded to being a fish. And I really, really loved that. That was beautiful. As you can see, there's fish all over this manga, so that is a metaphor for something. And I freaking love it. It's so interesting because Shuji is kind of like a fish in a fishbowl. Like, you'll look at him, but you won't understand him. Or them. I don't know how to gender them. See, this is why this is so complicated for me to discuss, because they do not understand their own gender, so I don't understand their gender. But, yeah. It was interesting. It was a very, very good read. I was very, very happy that I read it. And I can't wait for Volume 3. Volume 3 is going to be really interesting because it's going to go more into another storyline from the series that I'm really interested in, which is the main romance of the series. So I'm very, very curious about that. So I will be reading Volume 3 very, very soon. The next volume I read of this readathon is Volume 1 of Marchin Awakens Romance. This is written by Nobuyuki Anzai, and who was the translator for this one? I feel like I've heard of them before. Gerard Jones did the translation for this series, and this is an older shonen manga title that It's from like 2006, isn't it? Like 2005? 2005. Maybe even earlier than that. 2003 in Japan, technically. But anyway, this is an older shonen manga that I have always wanted to read. I remember my friend read this in high school a long time ago, back in like 2007. Oh my gosh. But basically, it's about this boy who is very, very odd. You know, he daydreams a lot. He's a young boy that he's in middle school. I think he's 14 years old, if I'm remembering right. And he is just daydreaming up these different kinds of worlds, and he doesn't really pay attention in class. And one day, a portal opens up in his classroom, and he gets sent to his world that he has imagined in his mind. And it's about him exploring this world and making new friends and just going on this big adventure. It's really, really interesting and fun. I had fun with it. I really like these characters. I really liked the discussion of family in this manga, and just, I thought it was really cool. I love the werewolves as well. I was very not expecting that. I love werewolves. So any kind of monster I'm really, really interested in. And I really, really liked it. I thought the ending was very wholesome as well, talking about our main character, Ginta, and his mother and their relationship. And it made me think about my own relationship with my mom, which I don't want to talk about. But yeah, it made me kind of emotional in an unexpected way. And so for that, I am happy that I read it. I thought it was cute. Kind of generic, but the artwork was fun. And it was just a really, really quick read. So if you're looking for a quick, fun shonen manga to read, I would recommend Mar. It is cute, and I really did like it a lot. The next manga I read was another brand new title from Seven Seas. This is My Androgynous Boyfriend by Tamako. And this is such a good manga. Oh my goodness, girl. This one is so, so good. It's essentially about this woman named Wako, who is a businesswoman, and she is very, 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 very smart and very, what's the word? Like she works a lot. She's a workaholic, and she basically brings home the bacon, and it's her relationship that she has with her androgynous boyfriend who is on the cover, and he is fantastic. He is definitely the kind of character that I want to be, Machida. I love Machida. I thought he was wonderful. He's essentially a, like, idol slash makeup artist, if I'm remembering correctly. And he is just living through life and trying to bring his love up. And I love that. That was so sweet. I also love that this is a very established relationship from the get-go. They are together from the beginning, from the very, very beginning of the story. And that made me so, so happy to see. It was so sweet seeing these two and their relationship. I also love the best friend character of our androgynous boyfriend. I love this man. Oh my goodness, girl. This man. This man. Yes, please. This man. I love him. And this was just a really, really interesting discussion on gender and stereotypes and how you shouldn't be judged because of the way you look. And there's so many things to talk about with this manga. There's also some homophobia in this manga as well, because the main character's coworkers thinks that she's gay because our main character, the androgynous boyfriend, is very androgynous, so they think that he's a woman. And so they are supportive but also homophobic at the same time, which is so, so real. There are so many people out there that are like that, which is not really their fault. It's more just their ignorance, basically. They're trying to be supportive, but in a way they're also very homophobic at the same time, and it's a very, very interesting discussion on that. And I really, really liked that our our only mangaka, discussed that in this volume, and I really appreciated it. I thought this was wonderful, and I'm very, very much looking forward to Volume 2. I hope we keep getting more of this. I really, really, really enjoyed this a lot. And then finally, the last manga that I read for this readathon is a manga that I am buddy rating with my friend Bizarre Individual, and that is That Blue Sky Feeling, and this is written by Okura, who wrote the story, and the art is by Koma Hashi. And this was also translated, I totally forgot, Jocelyn Allen translated this one. I love Jocelyn Allen. I don't even have to look at the book, I know it was her. Because, yes, Jocelyn Allen is the best. Yeah, so, thank you, Jocelyn. I forgot about you again, but I remembered you eventually. Because you probably translated it. Guess what? Jocelyn Allen translated this one, too. She translates everything. I'm telling you, kids. I'm telling you, children. She is the best. I love her. Okay, anyway. This is a manga that is a really, really interesting manga. I really, really like this. This is a well, not really, I don't know how to categorize it. It's an LGBT manga. And, I mean, I wouldn't call it a boys' love, even though it kind of is. It kind of is. It's... So there's like 2 different levels in this community of boys' love. Let me just say that. Let me talk about that for a second. Let me just talk about that. Okay, so like you have, let me just show you. We have something like Candy Color Paradox, and of course I have this on my bed because I just have yaoi everywhere. It's just everywhere in my room. It's just, I can just like pull it out of nowhere and it's right here. But then you have something like Blue Sky Feeling, which is less about a relationship and a sexual relationship mostly. This is not sexual at all, or at least so far. I've only read the first volume. But what's interesting is that this will discuss, I mean, they both discuss being gay in very different ways, is what I'm trying to get at. And this is about 2 boys who are in high school, I think high school, this isn't middle school, right? I think it's high school. And there's one boy who is our main character. He is in the judo club, and he is a very outgoing kind of person. He wants to be everyone's friend. And this other kid who is on the cover, Sonata. So we have Noshiro and Sonata. I am bad at names. I'm just bad at names. Okay, so Sonata is our other main character, and he is a very, very shy, reserved kind of character. He's a shy boy. And he is going through a really, really rough time at school. There is this big, huge rumor going around that Sonata's gay. There's so much homophobia going around in the school. So many people are calling him slurs. And no one's really asking him what he thinks. And so it's really, really interesting. It reminds me a lot of My Brother's Husband in a way, because we have these 2 characters, and it's really a discussion on being gay in Japan, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was beautiful. There's a really good discussion about, you know, sexual identity and misconceptions about your identity, and it's so, so wonderful. I mean, these characters are just so well developed and well fleshed out. I feel like these are people that I knew in high school, or people that I've known in my life, or they're me. I was very much like Sonata in a lot of ways. I was very shy and quiet and reserved, and I never talked about sexuality at all. At all. Never, ever in school. Yeah. And now here I am. And this was just so, so sweet. I really like, again, how this is a slow build to the relationship of the 2 boys. And it's mostly a friendship story, which I absolutely adore. It is so sweet about accepting yourself and accepting your love and being yourself unconditionally and opening yourself up to people. It's wonderful. If you have not read If you have not read That Blue Sky Feeling, you absolutely should. It is so, so good. Please do. So there you have it. Those are all of the manga that I read for the Manga Love Readathon, hosted by Shae. Thank you, Shae, for this readathon. Thank you for getting me out of my reading funk. Thank you so much. And please go check her out if you haven't already. I will post a link to her channel down below because she is wonderful. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and please remember, for the love of all that is gay, stay sexy!